Yo, what's poppin'? What's poppin', people? What's going on? What's going on? This, in part, is going to be a response video to my boy Root Imp. And at the same time, this video is going to attack uh, a general issue that I've seen most of my life growing up in the so-called black community, or the lack thereof. And this is in part due to a video that has went viral for the past few days, in which a single mother, a black single mother, was upset at one of her baby daddies because he purchased McDonald's for his one child that he has with her, supposedly, while the other children that she has with other guys didn't get a damn thing. So basically, the one baby daddy purchased McDonald's for his one son, and she was mad at him for not buying food for the other children. We seen that video. It's a TikTok video that went viral, right? And then she took the McDonald's that one of her baby daddies purchased for his one child, and she just threw it away on the floor, right? All right. Come to find out from other sources that video is fake. It's just a comedy skit. That's it. It's not even real. It's a skit, according to other sources. According to those same sources who are alleging that video is a skit, that it's not real, that this female is a content creator and she just makes content and different skits on YouTube and TikTok trying to be popular, in which I guess it worked, right? So, and that may be true. Maybe that video that went viral is a skit, right? But let's assume that that's true. Or no, better yet, it's a skit, but it's a skit that has a level of truth to it. Because in so-called black America, right, we had a lot of people in so-called black America have this thinking where we want the responsible people within our society to be responsible for the things that irresponsible people don't want to be responsible for. I'm going to say it one more time. In the so-called black community, we often want responsible people to be held responsible for the things that irresponsible people don't want to be held responsible for. Or in other words, so-called black America have a tendency to place burdens on productive individuals, in which these productive individuals have to actually look out for everybody else in the whole community. And that way of thinking has got to go. That way of thinking has got to go. And that video, that viral video that went viral on TikTok, in which everybody on YouTube and Facebook and all the other social media sites is talking about, when they respond to that video, the ones who actually are siding with the mother and who are saying that the father was wrong possessed, in my personal opinion, that mentality. Because you have a lot of people who are saying that, oh well, the father should have bought all the children some food. He should have bought all the children some food. He shouldn't let the other children go hungry. When I hear that argument from people who take that side, right? And when I hear their reasoning, I see that way of thinking. I see this thinking that so-called black people historically have, in which we believe that the ones who are productive should be the ones to actually be responsible for other people's irresponsibility. For example, we expect responsible fathers to be responsible for the children that other parents are not responsible for. Now, although I say that it is a very noble thing for a person to take care of a child that's not biologically theirs, that's a noble thing. But in so-called Black America, we we expect that a responsible father should do things and take care or just do things for other people's children. When in reality, a parent is really obligated in taking care of their own biological children. And that's it. And the reason why I'm stating that is because, once again, in that viral video, you know, the background, once again, some sources say that that video was a skit, right? Some people believe it's real, but I more so believe that it's a skit. But the background to that skit is that the female had children by several different males, and that, I don't know, I guess people are saying that the fathers of the other children are not really there. They're not really taking care of the children. And that it's that one father who's taking care of his one son. So once again, a lot of people who take the side of that father should have purchased food for all the children. Once again, they're taking this, their mindset is that, hey, this one responsible father need, or he should have, fed all the children. And this goes to, and this is, like I said before, is a response to Rude Imp's video that he made on the topic, because he kept on arguing that topic. He kept on arguing that point. But the thing is that when I was sitting back listening to Rude Imp's argument, it's like I rarely heard him speak on the other fathers of those other children. Now, once again, according to some sources, this video is a skit. But when I hear Rude Imp's argument, once again, I see a way of thinking that a lot of so-called Black people have adopted, which is that, once again, like I said before, sorry to repeat myself, but repetition is the mother of knowledge. Thus, it is necessary for one to keep repeating themselves so someone can remember what's being spoken about. And in this case, the mindset that a lot of so-called Black people have is that that productive people, or there's a belief in Black America that we should burden productive people and place burdens on them to the point of the fact that we hold them responsible to take care of the responsibilities of irresponsible people. We place burdens on productive people within our society for them to take care of things that other people should be taken care of. Like, for example, when it comes to other people's children. We have this concept where this fake ass, it takes a village to raise a children mentality, which a lot of people who claim to believe in that concept are very disingenuous when it comes to that, because people don't really believe in a village. People don't really believe that bullshit about it takes a village to raise its children. At least in so-called Black America, they don't believe in that. Or it takes a village to raise a people. No. In this case, in so-called Black America, People want the village, want the few productive people to take care of everybody in the village. When really, when it comes to it takes a village to raise people, that means that every single adult within the village have to play their role and be responsible for their own household, for their own section of the village, for so the village can be a functional place to live. So that means that every single adult have to be responsible for the upkeeping of the village. But we don't have that in Black America. Once again, in Black America, it's the few productive individuals or the few responsible individuals have to take care of the needs and wants for everybody in the village. And when I see a lot of people give their opinion about that viral video, I see that mindset. And I see that mindset within Rudemp. Now, Rudemp might disagree with me when I say that, but that's what I saw when he explained his part about, you gotta, the guy could have went home and feed all the kids and stuff like that, and all that. I mean, like I said, that would be a noble gesture if, if assuming this video was real, in which it's not, but assuming if this video was real, right? And the one baby daddy, you turn around and purchase McDonald's for all of the children inside that household, not only his child, that would be a good thing, but a noble gesture. But he's not wrong or a bad person for deciding to purchase food for his own child only. And once again, assuming that video was real, when you look at the way this female presented the situation, she presented it as if she's entitled for that one baby daddy to take care of all her children. She tried to make it seem as if that one baby daddy was supposed to take care of all of her children, even though her other children is not biologically his. Nah. And once again, and this goes back to this mindset that so-called Black America has, with this belief that the few responsible people should take care of everyone in the village. Nah. While the irresponsible individuals who lay down, have these children, and not do shit are not held responsible whatsoever. Because once again, when I heard Rudemp and giving his argument, I rarely hear him speak about the other baby daddies, quote unquote, right? Because let's just say if you have this type of household where a female has multiple children by multiple males, right? She's a single mother. She has multiple children by multiple males, right? Multiple quote unquote baby daddies. And only one of the baby daddy is actually taking care of his child while the other quote unquote baby daddies are not playing their part, right? Good morning, Anti-Social Socialite Podcast. It's been a minute since I heard from you. So let's just say that the remaining baby daddies or the other baby daddies, they're not taking care of their children. A lot of so-called Black people have this mentality that, in this case, that one productive or that one guy that's involved in his child's life should do things for all the other children. All because with this assumption that, oh, well, they're just children And if the children see that their sibling is the only one being taken care of, that might hurt the other children's feelings. But if that's the case, then that will be the fault of the biological mother and the biological fathers of those other children. If the one biological father who's taking care of his one child decides to only take care of his child, he's not the bad guy. He's not sitting there. And you know what? It actually kills me that I have to actually speak on this type of dysfunctional household, because the fact that a female is a single mother with children by multiple males, that itself is some dysfunctional shit. like I don't get, this may be kind of off topic, but I have to say this. I don't get how adult males would actually have children by a female that already has children, unless if she's been widowed. That's understandable. Let's say if a female was married, then had children, and her husband unfortunately died, and she found, and afterwards she remarried. Okay, that's understandable. But for the most part in so-called Black America, that's not the case. For the most part, a female is a single mother. The father or the fathers of her children is alive and well. They're just not together. And then you just got some other nigga come in and place his seed inside of her. That's some dysfunctional shit. I don't get how guys will do some shit like that. So to me, that itself is sick. I don't know what is it in a lot of you males that will sit there and put your seed in a female that already have children by other males. That means you're willing to raise your own offspring in a household where they grow up seeing their own siblings having a different father than them, having a different last name than them. To me, I don't see how you could be content with that shit. But going back to what I was saying, right? But in this case, right, listen to Rudep. Rudep was trying to make it seem as if that one biological father, who's the only father that's taking care of his child, is somehow doing something wrong by only taking care of his child and not taking care of another man's child. Listen, it's like, hold on for a minute. Once again, and you know what? And a lot of people, well, I won't say it's not taking care of. No, let me repeat myself. Rudem trying to make it seem as if that one guy that chose to buy food for his child was doing something wrong because he didn't buy food for the other children that was not biologically his. Bro, the dude don't owe them other children shit. He don't owe them nothing. And once again, in so-called Black America, we have that way of thinking where when we see this type of household and where a female has multiple baby daddies and maybe only one of her baby daddies is actually in taking care of his child or children, that some way, somehow, we think that one baby daddy should do things for all the other children. No. He don't have to. He don't have to. Okay? And it's like, it behooves me when it comes to a situation like that, right? Like what we saw in that viral TikTok video, although according to some sources, it's a skit. But assuming it's real, let's just hypothetically speak and say assume that it's real, right? That this was real life. A lot of people would label that one baby daddy as the bad guy, but not question as to how come the other fathers cannot, how come have not or cannot drop some food for their children? How come the mother is not buying food for her children? but we want to place that one baby daddy as the bad guy for deciding to only buy food for his children. Where, like I told Rudette, he has no obligation to buy anything for the other children. He's not obligated to do that. If he wants to, if he wants to buy food for for the other children, he can, but he's not obligated to do that. And Rude Ed actually agreed with me when I said that. He agreed that, okay, he's not obligated to do that. All right, cool. If we agree that that one quote unquote baby daddy is not obligated to take care of the other children that is not biologically his, then there's no argument. There's no argument. There should be no disagreement. Once you agree that he's not obligated to do shit for these other children, therefore, therefore, there's no reason for you to call that one guy all these bitch ass niggas and all this, because you have agreed he's not obligated to do something. So if a person refuses to do something that he was never obligated to do, then he's not a bad guy for refusing to do that. Like if I have no obligations to the Antisocial Socialite podcast, therefore, knowing I have no obligations to her, decide not to do shit for her, then I can't be no bad guy. How am I a bad guy when the reality is I have no obligations to her? If I'm not obligated to give her anything, if I'm not obligated to do anything for her, then no one can try to shame me, insult me, or trying to paint a picture of me being evil for not doing things that I'm not obligated to do in the first place. Conversation over. But once again, it goes back to this thinking that we have in so-called Black America, where we think that the small group of responsible men have to take care of everybody. We have to take care of the children that the irresponsible men refuse to take care of. And if the small group of responsible men refuse to do that, now he's looked upon as the bad guy, yet we turn a blind eye. We turn a blind eye to the irresponsible motherfuckers who just refuse to take care of their children. What's up, the real one? Oh, the real one. What's up? I never knew you subscribed to me. What's going on, bro? Yeah. Nah, man. See, that's one of the things. That's like, when I hear, people's interpretation of that video, and when they take on the argument of the father being the bad guy for not buying food for the other children, that's the mindset I see. The mindset when it comes to placing burdens on responsible people and expect people who are responsible for their own children to be responsible for other people's children. No. But yet turn a blind eye to the irresponsible parents who refuse to take care of their children. But at the same time, vilify a responsible adult who refuse to be responsible for someone else's children. To me, that mindset is a very backwards mindset. You know, no disrespect to Rude. I'm not saying Rude is a backwards person. I mean, Rude is cool. He's smart. He's intelligent. But that's just a. But that mindset is something that a lot of people within so-called Black America has, and that mindset is not a good thing. Now we can't be placing burdens on responsible individuals. You know, nah, nah. Because Rude Imp, when he was when he made his video earlier last night, and he was giving his perception what he think about that video, he was painting this picture of the one guy who bought food for his child only. He's letting what he's doing. He's letting those other children starve while he only feed his child. Well, okay, if that's the case, because we don't know that for sure. If the other children were starving, hungry, there's a difference between starving and just be, and just starving. Like people, there's a difference between being hungry and being in starvation. Starvation means that you haven't ate for a long time. So let's just say if that was the case, right? If the other children were starving and the one baby daddy purchased food for his one child, right? And didn't purchase food for other children that were starving. The question is, what the hell was the mother doing letting those other children starve? The question is, what the hell are the fathers of these other children doing letting their children starve? Why should that one baby daddy who purchased McDonald's for his children, for his one child, be vilified when it's not his responsibility to make sure another man's child eat or not? Why should the burden be placed on him to feed someone else's child? Like I said, if he chose to do that, that's a good thing. But there's no rule saying that he should do it. There's no rule saying that he's an evil individual if he doesn't do it. And then Rude Imp, he started, giving Rude Imp started, in my opinion, started conflating different scenarios together, right? Then he gave this picture of, he painted this picture, or he gave this scenario of, let's say, if you went out in public, and you saw somebody that was starving, you're not going to feed them. I'm like, okay, but that's a totally different situation, right? Where a father drops food. Okay, one situation where a father dropped some food for his child. He went to his child's house, who, the mother of his child has custody of his kid. So he went to the house and dropped some food off for his child. There's a difference between that scenario and going out in public, seeing somebody starve. You know what I'm saying? And just letting them starve to death. Because once again, if we're talking about starving children who's starving, then we have to point to the biological parents of these children. Because in the grand scheme of things, you don't know if these children are starving or not. You don't know if the mother cooks something or she, you don't know. Come on. But since Rude painted that picture that, you're just going to let a child starve if you're just going to buy food for your child only and not buy food for the other children, you're just letting the other children starve. I'm like, no, 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 no. The biological parents of these other children are letting the children starve. And I think last night, Rude Imp made another video. Well, I think his first response video to that viral video, right? Where he argued the same point, but then what he also did too, he then gave another scenario where he talks about how, if you have children coming to your house, you mean you're not going to feed your children? If you have people coming to your house, you're not going to feed these individuals? I'm like, hold on for a minute. And I was on the panel, and I told Rude Imp, I'm like, okay, those are two different scenarios. Because once again, you're comparing a guy going to his child's home and dropping off some food for his children. No, excuse me, for his one child. And you're conflating that with guests coming over to your house and you not giving the guests common courtesy. See, that's a difference because, of course, I don't know how you guys was raised, but how I was raised is that when you have guests coming over to your house, you have to welcome them and make them comfortable. And one of the ways you make them comfortable is that you make sure you at least offer them something to drink. You at least offer them something to eat. That's common courtesy for your guests. So once again, Rude Imp was conflating two different scenarios together. Once again, he's conflating a father going to his child's house and dropping off some food for him with a person treating a guest. Those are two different scenarios. Single American says, all of this sounds like another reason to stop impregnated American females. Generally, they are not family oriented, and too many stupid scenarios like this happen. Yeah, unfortunately, that's true, Sigma American Arcana. Unfortunately, that's true. Yeah, the real one says, yeah, I'm chilling, homie. Everyone else is responsible for their kid except the biological father. Yeah, 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 man. So so this mindset of, like I said, it has a lot of people. See, the video, like I said, from other sources have claimed that, or have alleged that this video that a lot of people are talking about is a skit and that it's not real. But although it may not be real, that video is an example of art imitating life, because it may not be real, but that video was reenacting real situations that actually happens in so-called Black America. Because in so-called Black America, a lot of people, especially single mothers, have that way of thinking where they think that another guy who's not the biological father of their child somehow, somehow should be buying their child some shit. Somehow is obligated to do something for their children. That whole entitlement mentality. you know so although that video is allegedly fake, but it's art imitating life, because it has portrayed real life situations and a real life way of thinking that actually goes on in Black America. And it all revolves around placing burdens on responsible individuals, thinking that the few or the one responsible individual should take care of everybody, which is a bunch of bullshit in my eyes. What up, Tyrone Church? What up? What up, Tyrone? So that skit is art imitating life. And it's obvious, and it's obviously art imitating life because so many people, it made so, there was so many response videos by so many people who feel a certain way about it. Like I say, one side feel that the father was wrong for only buying his child food because, like I said, because it comes from the thinking that we was raised to have in Black America, that the one or the few responsible people should be taking care of everybody in the village, while those who take the opposing view believe that that mindset, which is the one or few responsible people should be taking care of the whole entire village, is bullshit. You know, you got one people who still adopt that mindset, and you have another group of people who take another side of the argument because they feel that that mindset is bullshit. So that's what it is. Art imitating life. The real one says, uh, I'm totally against dealing with single mothers. Even the father that's in his kid life is getting dragged by mostly females and some males. Single American Arcana said, you say entitlement mentality? Bro, I have been thinking much about it lately, and I don't know if we will see this problem solved in our lifetime. Maybe not. Maybe not. Okay. You said, hold on. Okay. So going back to the real one's comment, he says, okay. Oh, the fathers, oh, that guy in the video is getting dragged by mostly females. Yeah. I mean, like I said, it's a skit. Like a lot of people didn't know that this might be a skit. This might be just a skit that went viral. But the reason why, in my personal opinion, that this father's being dragged is, like I said before, it's because a lot of people adopt that mindset that one responsible person or few responsible people should be taking care of the whole village instead of each adult within the entire village being responsible for themselves and their families, thus making the entire village a very functional village. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't have an issue with the concept that it takes a village to raise a child, but the thing is that if it takes a village to raise a child, that means that every adult in the village must be responsible for their own children first, and then they could be responsible for other people's children. But we don't have that in so-called Black America. We have this concept where, like I said before, the very few responsible people should should take the burden to be responsible for everyone's children. That's not a village raising a child. That's a few individuals within the village raising a child. You know, yeah. So that father in the video is getting dragged because a lot of people in Black America, like I said, have been programmed to believe that a few responsible people should be taking care of everybody else, which is bullshit. That shit is very draining when you even try to do something like that. Yeah, it might not be solved in our lifetime. Maybe not. I don't know. Second American Arcana says, I see biological fathers getting treated like he is a stepdad or worse. It's nuts. It's crazy. It's crazy. He says, people say it doesn't pay to be a stepdad, but now it's no longer worth it to be a real dad either. Yeah. I mean, shit. Oh boy. Like I said, man, The pickings are slim when it comes for a positive and productive male to find the right female counterpart. The pickings is very slim. It's for real. Because, you know, man, because understand this, you put your seed in the wrong female as a male. If you put your seed in the wrong female, your that's your offspring, and your legacy can grow up having a life, suffering a life of trauma, and grow up to be fucked up. That's why, males need to guard their seed with a vengeance. You need to be real vigilant when it comes to guarding your seed. And on the flip side, females need to be real vigilant when it comes to guarding their womb. If we had more males and females in society with that way of thinking, boy, we'll see less single parent households in our society. What up? What's going on? JLJ504. What's up? Oh man, it's like, yeah, man, we need to stop adopting this way of thinking where one or a few responsible people should have the burden in taking care of everyone else in the village. Nah, that is not a proper way of thinking, and it's not even realistic. It's not realistic for just a small amount of people to just take care of an entire village of people. No, that's not realistic. What's realistic is that everyone in the village plays a role in making the village a functional, yet structured, yet safe, yet comfortable place to live. Okay, the only way where a village can raise the children is if every single person in the village is hands-on and active in helping the children. If you just expect just a small group of responsible men to take care of everybody else's children, that is not the meaning of it takes a village to raise a child. But a lot of us in so-called Black America, we misinterpret the meaning of that concept. But going on to what I was saying. Okay, yeah, and Rudep, in his recent video that he made about this topic, he brought up an interesting point. He said, what did he say? He said, he said some shit. Okay, going back to the people in that video, right? Because I guess the female, the so quote unquote baby mama in that video, she turned around and made another video speaking about the supposed situation that happened and why she acted the way that she did, right? Allegedly. And she stated that she used to be when she was in a relationship with the father, that the father took care of all the other children, right? Like, what she claimed is that the child that she has with that one guy, is the youngest of her children, right? So that means that when she met him, she already had the other children by the other guys, right? So she said when she was with him, when they was in a relationship together, the guy chipped in and took care of all the kids. But now that they're not together no more, he only takes care of his child and do things for his child and not the other children. And Rude Imp found something wrong with that. Rude Imp, his argument is, okay, if you was in a relationship with that female who had children by other guys, and that guy bonded with the other children. How come now that you broke up with that female, now you don't want to do anything for these other children? So I told Rude Ep, I said, listen, that's what you call a breakup. That comes with the territory when it comes to a breakup. All right. If a person uh, uh is in a relationship with another person that has children, being that they're in a relationship together, yeah, that person is going to do things for that person's children. But once that relationship is over, that person is not going to do shit for you and your children. You know, newsflash, that's the real world we live in. In the real world, the moment someone is no longer in a relationship or in a commitment with you, don't expect them to do shit for you or your children, because they're not going to do that. They don't have to do that. You can't expect okay, like it's like you can't expect to be in a relationship with someone, break up with them, and expect that person to continue to do the same things for you that they did when you was in a relationship with that person. No. See, this means that you still expect relationship treatment when you're no longer in a relationship. That's common sense. You're not going to get that. It's like, okay, in that scenario, once again, that viral video is allegedly fake and it's a skit, right? But if it is a skit, it's art imitating life. So let's assume that that video was real, right? And that guy, yeah, when he was together with that female who had children by other guys, he took care of the other children, had a child with her, then they broke up. Once that happens, the only thing he owes her is to be a father to the one child that he has with her. He does not owe her anything else. He does not owe her any favors for the other children that's not his. This is common sense. This is not rocket science. Sigma said that would be a little too much like alimony. Yo, y'all funny, dog. Y'all funny. Oh, y'all funny. Come on. You can't expect relationship treatment when you're no longer in a relationship with somebody. It's not going to happen, man. You know, just because the guy in the video was supposedly doing things for the other children while he was still with her, doesn't mean he should continue to do that when he's no longer with her. That's common sense. You know, on one end, I don't get what the big fuss is about, but on the other end, I do. Because what that video did, it uncovered a way of thinking that a lot of so-called black people were programmed in having, which is placing burdens on responsible people, thinking that the few or the one responsible individual in our society should just take care of everybody else, while everybody else reap the benefits of the hard work and the blood, sweat, and tears of the few responsible individuals. And that those few responsible individuals should just break their back to make sure that everybody else in the village is taken care of. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. No. In order for so-called Black America or just society in general to be functional, every able-bodied adult have to be responsible for the role that they play in creating a functional society. It is not realistic to have a society where it's just a small hand of responsible people, and the small amount of responsible people should be responsible for taking care of everybody. The fuck? So while the majority of society is irresponsible and just sitting back and not doing shit, the small amount of responsible people should toil, break their backs, and nearly kill themselves to take care of other people or to do things for other people that they should be doing for themselves. And you know what? Speaking of that, speaking of other people thinking that people should do things that they should be doing for themselves, I made a statement back in 2009 in my first Wacky Word of Vote channel before it got false flagged, right? I said that so-called black people have a welfare mentality in which they believe that other people should do things for them that they should be doing for themselves. Once again, I said that so-called black people have a welfare mentality in which they believe that other people should do things that they should be doing for themselves. And that viral TikTok video exposed that welfare mentality that so-called black people have. Because we think that, you know, people should just supposed to do things for other people that they're not obligated to help. So Sigma American Arcana says, boom, you just said it exactly. These modern females want relationship benefits without being in a relationship. I've been telling fools this for 5 years, and all I get is pushback. Yeah, yeah, some people, yeah, man. I mean, we live in a society where so many people, especially a lot of modern females, want to have their cake and eat it too. You know, not to make this a male versus female type of thing, because this is really what I'm really speaking about in my video is a mindset, right? Is a mindset. But what Sigma American Arcana said about a lot of modern day females is true. A lot of modern day females want to have their cake and eat it too. Thus, they want relationship benefits without being in a relationship. In the real world, it doesn't, that's not how things are run. In the real world, you are not going to get relationship benefits without being in a relationship, unless if you're with some simp ass nigga, you know? Well, I guess speaking of simps, I guess I have to take that back, because in this modern world, we have so many simps who would and even have created a situation where females can have relationship benefits without being in a relationship. But in the real world, you're not going to get that from a real man. And the real one says, yeah, facts, they demand it too. Yeah, they be demanding that shit. They be demanding that the small group of responsible males should just be taking care of the entire village. Nah, nah. And that's the mindset that I see when a lot of people speak and give their opinions about this viral TikTok video. And when a lot of people take the argument of the father being this evil or this villain for only taking care of his own child, I saw that mentality. I saw that mentality that we're programmed to have. Understand, this is programming. Because let's keep it real. A lot of us so-called black people, for the most, if not all so-called black people in America, have been programmed to think a certain way. So this is programming. So, and those so-called black people who do not have that way of thinking, for the most part, broke away from that programming, understanding that that programming is dysfunctional, you know? But, if you really think about it, so-called black people, you know, we still programmed, even though, like, for example, right? I'll take myself, for example, right? I constantly speak upon how people are programmed, how people are socially engineered. But if you want to think about it, I'm programmed too. I'm no different, even though, but it's just that the difference is I'm conscious of my programming. Thus, I work hard to break away from the programming each and every day. But you're talking about generations and generations of programming. And this is the same thing for all of us. That although we're conscious and we're aware of certain things, but there's also a side of us that's still programmed to do certain things, and we're conscious of that, and we have to break away from that. So breaking away from programming is a daily thing. It's not just one day just fully broken away from programming. It's a daily thing. It's a yeah. Goddamn. Sigma American Arcana says, I once read that a sign of low intelligence or no intelligence is when somebody expects something for nothing. If this is true, then it may also be true that many blacks have low IQ. God damn. God damn. with that being said, I have to end this stream. I'm done saying what I had to say. All right, man. It was great. It was great talking to you guys, man. All right. I'm out of here, man. Y'all have a blessed night, morning, day, wherever part of the world you're at, whichever time zone you're at, or whichever time you're watching this video. So like and share this video if you haven't done so already. Like and share this video, whether you watch me live, whether you watch me in the clouds, whether you watch me in the playback. Click like and share this video. Give a real motherfucker a place in the algorithm. That's what's wrong with a lot of people in this space. They don't want to uh um they don't want to share other people's videos because especially other content creators, because a lot of other content creators think that they're in competition with the next content creator. It's all, man, when you look at my communities page, I'm always sharing videos from other content creators, man. I'm always sharing, man. So at least, give the same in return. All right, peace out, man. Thank you, the real one. Thank you. Y'all have a great night. All right, peace.